I'm Stephen Hann from Archery Supplies, and today I just want to go through a bit of practicing with a recurve bow because I get lots of questions from customers about recurve archery and getting started in recurve archery. So I just want to go through a bit of what I go through and what I do and how I teach people in archery how to shoot. Now, one of the most important things is practice. If you don't practice, you're not going to get better, and one of my keys to get better is to practice more than other people. I figure if I work harder, then I'm going to get more success. So the harder I work, the more success I will have. So if there's another guy in the club who's shooting 90 arrows a week and I shoot 180 arrows a week, I'm probably going to shoot better than he will. Now, one of the hardest things is to keep motivation in practice, which is where the gear comes in. If I do a good shot, I basically want to see my arrow go in the center. And I have a procedure where I basically go through and I shoot 30 arrows or 60 arrows every night. I score them so I can track my progress and see how I'm progressing, to give myself feedback. I need feedback to show that I'm improving and that what I'm trying to achieve is being achieved. So a few quick things about the grip. Grip is the most important. On all bows, your knuckles should be at 45 degrees and the bow's basically sitting around here in your hand. If you're gripping the bow, you're not going to shoot any good. The bow should be loose in the hand. Like I said, if you've got cheap gear, cheap arrows, which is what lots of people start their kids off, basically the kids are going to shoot, be practicing, the arrows aren't going to go anywhere near the center, and they're going to struggle. I'm not doing a sales pitch. That's the way it is. And if the kids don't have success, they're going to drop out and go back to playing computer games. And if that's what you want, that's up to you. So these arrows I'm shooting are actually pretty reasonable. They're about $200 a dozen. There are cheaper versions of these made by Win and Win, which are $70 a dozen. But they aren't as straight, and I'm looking for success. So one of the most important things is your feet position. You want your feet lined up towards the target, and you want to have good balance. If you lean backwards, basically, so someone could push you over, then you're not going to have a good platform. So make sure your feet are stable. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to build strength. So in my shooting, so I'm actually going through this process not to shoot a good score, but just the repetition to build my strength to become more steady. At the moment, I've got a lot of pain in my back through shooting and through doing weights. But I'm trying to push through that, and I've had massage on my back, but I'm just here trying to shoot arrows to try and maintain my strength and just to continue that building process. I'm shooting a good finger tab. I was shooting a cheap SF tab, which was the SF Elite, which was fine, but I'm shooting a higher poundage now, so this is a Cordoba material. This tab's about $100. The other tab which I was using, which was fine, was about $25. So you get your grip correct. So the grip should look something like that, where your knuckles are at 45 degrees, and your hand should be loose. Now when I look at the target, I'm completely focused on the target. I don't want to see other stuff around me. As I shot on the weekend, I noticed other stuff around me, which is not good. You should be completely focused on that target. You get the grip. Now I draw back. I always aim at the target. If you're drawing high, like I see lots of people, they can pull you off the shooting line for doing that. I just find it dangerous. So I've always been taught to draw back aiming at the target. So if something does go wrong, the arrow is still going to basically hit the target. So I draw back, and my string touches my nose, my chin, and my tab comes up under my jawline. When I shoot, I'm looking for my hand to come straight back, and I'm looking for that follow through, and basically I want to be like a statue when I shoot. And when the clicker goes click, I let go. One of the things I try and concentrate on is keeping the shoulder down, because if the poundage is high, you'll see people leaning back like this, because that just indicates the poundage is too heavy. So I'm trying to keep this shoulder down at all stages. Now for practice and even regular shooting, don't really worry where the arrow goes. Worry about how the shot feels. Because that was a low 8. Yeah, it's disappointing, but don't focus on that. Focus on the next shot. That arrow's shot. Focus on the next shot. That's a 10. So basically I'm looking for my hand to come backwards and my front hand to kind of roll forward. I don't get a lot of movement on my bow. So you'll see a lot of the Koreans will get this sort of thing happening. I shoot a lot of compound. I'm pretty happy with the way my bow sits. Have goals and try and meet them and try and meet that workload. Don't go down there and expect to shoot a 280 when you shot 30 arrows in a week. That wasn't a very good shot, but once again, you need to shoot the arrows and don't focus on the bad shots. You're just here to practice, get the feel going. One of the big things I found when I was shooting the recurve was I was getting left to right movements. Now that can be through several reasons. If I pull my release out to the side, then my arrow will go to that side. My grip, if I change my grip position, I'll get different positions on the arrows on the target. Once again, the more you shoot, the more consistent you become, the more consistent those arrows are going to be down the target. The other issue I have with the recurve, you don't have a peep sight. So if you change the string on your chin here where you're anchoring, the arrows will actually move left to right. I also find when I'm warming up, my arrows move from left to right on the target, and I assume that's because my position on my shoulder back here when I'm anchoring, that this is moving left to right. But just focus on the good shots. As I'm drawing back, I take in half a breath of air, which I hold for the shot. One of the common things beginners do is they twist their hand like this when they're pulling back the bow, and the arrow will actually start to come off the arrow rest. I put a little lip on my arrow rest here to try and keep the arrow on. To encourage it on because they're generally flat. That's a nice grip. After I'm finished, I'm actually out of breath. What I'm trying to say is just continue doing, each shot and work on it. Work on your technique. Because what you're doing here is you're working on your technique, the consistency, and you're building strength and fitness. And also don't set your goals too high to start with. Don't go, I'm going to shoot 90 arrows a night. Just set it little. Like I started off shooting 30 arrows and now I've built up to 60 arrows a night. And coming closer to competitions, and I haven't set myself another competition date yet. And even the nationals, I was extremely scared of entering. Which probably sounds funny, I just didn't want to make a fool of myself. Which sounds weird. But people actually drop out of tournaments when they're not shooting well because they don't want to post a bad score. So But I'd still encourage you to enter tournaments, because that way you get a feel of that whole tournament atmosphere. But if you have a goal and you go, look, if I shoot that score, then I will enter the tournament. If I put in the work, I'll enter the tournament. And I will find a tournament which I'll put in the diary, and then I'll work up to that. So I might start shooting 90 arrows before the tournament per day, as well as running and as well as weights, which I don't know where I fit time in for sleep and work. And that's 9 arrows. Enjoy your archery, and give it a go and do practice. The more you practice, and even if it's not shooting arrows, you don't have an indoor range, you can't shoot at home, pulling back your bow every night will build strength. You actually don't need to shoot your arrows to build strength. An Australian champion who I trained, he used to draw back his bow every night. He had a little carport, 3-meter carport where he used to shoot. So he used to shoot 3 meters into this little target. He'd pull back his bow every night in front of the TV. He was Australian junior champion, Australian men's champion, and basically almost made it to the Olympics, which was a bit unfortunate for me, and unfortunate for him that he didn't. But once again, it's the work. He worked hard, and he clearly had the results on the board. And you just work for what you want to achieve. I'm Stephen Hann from Archery Supplies. Enjoy archery, enjoy the practice, and hope this video has helped you. Thank you. Bye.